Hey guys, I'm just doing some quick example solves here. It'll be a more of a beginner intermediate friendly level. The scrambles are all in the description, or sorry, they'll be in my pinned comment on this YouTube video. So again, that's the pinned comment to see the scrambles. This is scramble 1 and I'll take you through my entire thought process. So I'm inspecting, looking for a first block, anything to make an easy first block. I see this first, the DL edge, but I look around and the other pieces would be this, that, and that. You could pair this in one move or two, and then the two mover R prime U prime is better, right? You could either do back prime to pair them or an R prime U prime. The R prime U prime is better since it would set this up more nicely to pair with that. Whereas if we look at the other couple options, we can look at orange yellow. The piece would be these two, also this one with that one, and I don't really see a great way of pairing those together. There's also this right here, and on blue yellow, there's again not that much that's nice since this corner's stuck here. So I'll go back to orange yellow that I was looking at, and as I mentioned, this is likely the best option here. Or sorry, was it green yellow? It was indeed green yellow, my mistake. The other option I see is, since this is a one move pair, I'll consider red yellow. So if I go to this angle, if you do D prime, you'll solve that and also pair these two. But the other pair is also quite nice, so I'm actually going to go with, so then we'll consider red yellow versus green yellow. So for red yellow, it's D prime and then R prime U, R prime F, because D prime pairs these and then this corner goes there. R prime U, R prime F solves that with this edge, which is going to be here. But that's going to not do, that's going to bring DR down here, and the U2 R wide back prime is going to bring it up here. So that's still pretty nice. But then when we go to green yellow, we see that R prime, U prime, and then like M prime to pair these two and those two as well. The insertion of those pairs is kind of awkward, and although the DR is going to stay on the right and be solved, I prefer to do red yellow here. So we'll go red yellow. So as I mentioned, these are the pieces. We'll do a D prime to solve them, to solve the DL edge and make this pair. That's going to bring the front edge here, and that'll bring this corner in the back. So I go D prime, and then now to solve this pair. And as I mentioned, this is going to come and be on top, so they can go like this while I solve the other pair. As I did that, I was watching this and this edge, and I also just noticed this corner come up. I can't see the edge that goes with this, but I have a feeling it's either this one or that one. In either case, you can deal with that later. So I would go like this and deal with that back pair while noticing that this edge is this one and solving it like that. Now from this angle, I can't really recognize this, so I have to go like that. And it's the Nicholas, and it's a 6 flip. I don't really like a 6 flip that much, so I'm going to just go like this to get rid of the 6 flip. Now I have a pretty nice EOLR. So when you have the 1-1 case, where you have one like this, one like one bad edge on top, one on bottom, the easy way to do it is to just, and then the EOLR edges are adjacent like this. The easy way to do it is flip one, then move one over, and then flip the other one. So you get this good arrow that you can line up and then put them on the bottom. And here I saw that was green, and this is going to make a block, so I'm going to have to do M prime. Okay, this is Scramble 2. The first thing I see is this, so I'm going to look at both red yellow and red white. Red yellow, we have this. The corner is over there, so matching these up is kind of difficult. Looking at red white now, we have the edge, the corner here, and the edge there, like that. So we could pair them up with like D, R, F prime. But then the other pair is okay, it's not too great. What else can we look for? Green, yellow, we can take a look at that. We can solve this pair in one move, and I think this is the better option. I'll show you how to solve it in a second, but essentially this is solved, we hold it solved. These two are F2 to be solved, right, because green on top there, and that'll bring the corner for the back pair and the edge that's there. So they'll be like this, yellow and then green, and then I'm going to solve these with R2, U2, B, but I'm going to do an R wide 2, because what I want to do is bring this all the way down here to be red, and then this is going to stay yellow on top, and I can do the typical like RU, R prime F sort of insert that we see. From all of that, this DR edge is going to go back there, and it's going to stay back there, so I know my first move is going to be an R wide 2 for starting my second block. And here we go. So F2, R wide 2, U prime back to solve that. Then I exchange my grip and then solve that front pair. Right away I see I see this pair, and I also think this red edge in the back is the correct one, but it isn't. So from here, I would go like this, and then something like this to split these two up. Solve them like that. And with this kind of pair, remember, we saw this before that they were opposite. And when I did that whole series of R moves, it came back to the top. So I was expecting that this is going to end up like this while I was making this pair and separating them. So then you can just go directly into that solution here. And then we got an anti-soon for CMLL. From here, you can do a bit of a cancellation. So I'll show that. So from here, we see that we have 4 bad edges on the top, and they're adjacent right here. And I know that doing an anti-soon is gonna make them is gonna re-permute the edges and make these two green, the green and blue, be opposite to each other. So I know I can go directly into this, which is essentially a one move EO. If you have if you have 4 bad edges on top and the 2 that are the ULUR edges are opposite each other on top, all you have to do is one move. And now you have misoriented EO because everything that has front or back colors on it, so red or orange, are now down or up red or orange, whereas the ULUR ones are white and blue. And here it's easy to solve that. And we saw that was yellow, which means that's going to make a block, so we have to do M prime. Okay, this is Scramble 3. This is a lot of things to look at. So I'm first going to look at this green and yellow block, since we have this kind of pseudo pair and this kind of looks like it's setting up for a line, and we see that everything else is also quite nice. So the other pieces are these two and this one. So if we just do U prime F prime to solve this whole line with this edge, that also flips this this edge up here to be yellow and this corner to be back there green. So then we can pair them up with an M prime and then solve them with that other corner with R wide, and then all that's left to do is D. And from all that, the DR edge would just go here, here from the M prime, here from the R wide, but then the D would make it end up here. And if you just imagine this doing a U prime M2 is essentially what happens, and you'll end up with yellow on the front, which means once you do the D, it's going to be flipped in place, which is not very nice. The other way of doing this is to start with U prime R F prime, so that you bring this out and kind of change the number of U moves you have to do, so you avoid getting this solved there. So it would be U prime R F prime, and then U prime M prime D. So that's the other thing I'll think about. I'll next go look at red yellow, and again we can use this same kind of block here to do a half line, which would be U prime F prime, and then bring the center down with R wide prime, and then solve with U wide. But I don't really like how that deals with the centers. The other option would be to make the whole line, and that would require doing like U wide prime, so making that pseudo pair in the back, doing an F, and then R wide to solve this here, there with the center, and then match it up with this, which would be over there at that point. But then we'd still have to insert this corner, so I don't really like that much either. The other option now is to do green white, so using this as the front and then solving those two, so it would be just M2 U prime R2. And I kind of like this because it's simple and this pair is already free, so it would just be after the D prime you do a back prime, and it's very easy to track DR. We'll go back to the other thing I was considering, which was this green yellow. I think the green white is a little bit better just because of the DR influencing and how easy it is to track. So we'll go back to this green white and we'll solve that. So as I mentioned, M2 to put that there, U prime R2 to solve them, and then D prime U at the same time, because I want to move this out of the way and prevent it from getting flipped badly like that. So there, I feel like this is the pair that I want. So notice that when I did this U, I saw this corner, and I feel like the correct edge is with it. So if I go like that, I was correct. I can flip it and separate it as if it was the right thing. And then while I'm solving it, I saw this corner go there, and I'm pretty sure the edge that goes with it's in the back. Actually, it has to be, but I don't know if it's blue or red. So I'm going to peek, and it's blue, which means I'm going to solve it like this. And we see this CMLL case, which is just going to be R prime U2 R prime commutator. I don't know if the blue edge is here or in the back. I'm going to peek, and it's in the back. And to solve this case, what you do is essentially for EOLR, you swap this piece with the one in the back with MU2 M prime to give you this sort of arrow. And then when you have this side arrow, you put this down here, and then now you have a one move misoriented EO like this, and then you can just solve like that. We see white white, which means it's M prime. Okay, Scramble 4, we immediately see this blue yellow, so we'll inspect, and immediately it sucks because both corners are stuck there. We'll look at this orange blue, so considering it with both white bottom and yellow bottom. So for white bottom, pieces are these two already, that's really hard to pair up. We'll look at yellow bottom, it's better because if we hold that solved in the back left, we see that the corner is just an R prime to set up, and that's also going to bring the edge up and be a lot more convenient. What else can we do here? The other pair is this one and that one. So we could kind of make a line if you do U R prime F or just R prime F and then deal with the other pair. I think that's kind of the best way to do this. But we'll think about other options first. Nothing else really stands out to me as being worthwhile. So I think we'd have to go with this this yellow orange block. So holding that solved. And again, so R prime places this corner to be in the back, so it's a D move away from being solved. And to deal with this corner edge, if we just do R prime, U prime, M prime, you're gonna have them opposite here, which is not so good. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna do, I'll do R prime F D2. And the reason for that is we wanna take advantage of these two and solve them both in the front to make a whole line. And this will go there and it'll swing around and be orange here. This will be solved, and then we'll be able to do just U, M prime, U, R prime, D prime. From all that, we're going to subtract DR. So R prime F D2 is just going to do a D2 and bring this to be red here. And then the U, M, U, R prime, D prime is going to flip it. So it's red here. Now it's red bottom. Red bottom is not good. So we're going to try to influence it while we do that. So R prime F D2, again, solved this sort of setup. And from here, I'm going to go like this actually. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this first. So I'm going to do R wide U2 R wide prime to place that here while bringing this to the top, so that when I do UM, we avoid getting it flipped in place and end up with it on the top with the right orientation. And luckily for us, this made a half line here, which also made the other half line. So we can just do RU2 R2 like this, or I can do U2 in the middle of it to split this pair up. So it's nice and easy to solve. We got the same CMLL as last time, so I'll do a U2. And we notice this is a commutator, so it's not going to affect anything edge orientation or permutation wise. So I know the orange that goes with this has to be in the back, and this lets me do EOLR pretty easily. And the way to do this is to line it up so that when you do the M prime, or when you do EO, you can either do it from this angle or that angle or that angle or that angle. And I know the correct angle is this one, or sorry, it's this one, because we want this to end up on the side, and we want the orange one to do an M2 and be oriented. So if you go like this, then you'll end up with this this good arrow where it leads directly into nice EOLR. Green blue is opposite, so we're gonna have to do M2. Fifth and final scramble, we see this free pair, so we'll look at green white first. And right away it's going to be awkward to put this in. We could, I guess, go from here, hold this solved and do a D, and then R wide U R wide prime to solve it. But I don't really like the second pair that much. It's finger tricky, but it's a little bit long since that's in the back and it'll stay there. This will stay orange on the top. So we could do like R wide and then, U2 R prime F. But we'll think about the other option, which is red. And again, this is flipped, so that's not very nice. We'll also think about green, yellow, looking for the pieces here. We have this pair and the other pair. And again, it's not that nice. It actually is sort of nice. So if we solve this with U prime, R prime, R prime, this oriented edge ends up here with green. And then the U2, so these two will be green right here. And if you do U2B to solve them, that'll bring this corner that goes with that green edge up here, which is yellow top. And I know that when, the side color, which is green, is here, the corner is yellow top, you can do U and they'll be matched, and then you can just do F2. So that's a pretty efficient block. Last option I'll consider is orange yellow. There's not, there's a line, but this isn't so nice. So I think I would go with this green yellow option here, just because of how finger tricky it is. From that, we can track DR. The U prime and then RU prime R prime is going to make it just stay here. And then from the U2B, UF2, it's going to go here and then go there. So we'll go like this, solve it in the back, UF2. Immediately I saw during the F2 this pair, which is pretty easy, and I know the other one is right there. So I'm actually going to solve the other one first, just because I know this is going to stay pretty nice no matter what I do. So I'm going to go like that, and I solved this pair, and I was correct. So this, the orange is going to stay down there. This is going to be orange top, so it's going to be a 3 mover like that. And again, we got this Nicholas, but it's going to be a bad arrow because the other blue edge has to be here, because I can sort of see that this is red because, you know, stickerless cubes. So like this, and, you know, just standard EO there, putting them on the bottom. These two are opposite, so it's going to be just cancellation. Yeah, that's it. I think I misscrambled Scramble 4, but I looked at the real Scramble 4, and it's not that interesting. I think, though, whatever misscramble I did there led to a pretty interesting solution, so sorry about that, but also, you know, hopefully this was useful and you learned a couple things. If there's anything in the videos that you're confused about, leave a comment and I'll try to refer you to another video where I explain a concept that's related to it. Thanks for watching.